This is the Clint Files, number 10. Today we're going to talk about people talking down to you and what it really means. Because I had this conversation not too long ago, actually at Bonnaroo with somebody I just met. We had this conversation, and he was like, I don't remember how we got into it, but he said something about me not getting shit talked basically because I rode or something, I guess to that effect. And I was like, dude, people still talk shit to me. Even at shows, random people obviously. Uh I did I don't think it was a GNCC, but it was some kind of like cross country race like that. Or I don't even know anything about it. Enduro maybe. And it was raining, and they're like riding through the woods. So we weren't jumping, and then eventually we pushed the ramp in and we jumped it kind of short just to get like a show off. And I mean downpour, like monsoon. And the kid comes up and he's like, one kid's like, we ride in the rain all the time. And I'm like, you're riding in the woods. Like you're not jumping metal ramps where you can land in the face of it. So we rode, the whole face of it was covered with mud. So then after we ride, another kid comes up. He's probably 13. His dad's like 10 feet behind him. And he just goes, hey, man, Flyer said professional freestyle motocrossers. And I was like, well, I this is how I make my living for like the last 10 years. So, I mean, I guess I'm not sure how else you would describe, professional. I thought that was the prerequisite for you to be a professional is to make a living. But so off-road crowd was really hard to please, especially in muddy conditions. It was like not favorable in a grass field. One time I had an old guy walk up to us at Hershey Park, PA, and he just walks up and he goes, we're sitting in front of the ramps. The ramps are all set up and everything. We rode. We're sitting at a table, and this old guy comes up and he goes, they pay you for this? And we go, yeah. And he goes, not very well, judging by what you're wearing. And I just got up and walked away from that one. I was like, I'll let you guys handle it. Had another guy, we were at a fair, same thing, rained really bad. We ended up having we were on like the tractor, like pulls infield thing there, like a dirt, strip, which was going to be sick until it downpoured for hours. So then we ended up moving it out onto like this gravel like area. And then this guy shows up with his kid, and he's just like, we had actually already done the show. It was over. It was abbreviated version in the parking lot. This guy shows up with his kid, and he just starts going, who's the best? Who's doing the biggest tricks? What are you guys doing? This and that. And we're like, whatever. We told him, and he was like, oh, well, my kid does this. It's going to be his day or some shit like that. I don't remember. He's like, my kid does this in the back on this step up and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, dude, cool. I'm not saying your kid can't do this, but what I'm saying is you're kind of a dick. Like, who just charges in? It's like, my kid does this in the backyard. He's way better than you. But there was a guy at one time standing. It was actually at Englishtown. The guy's standing and we're jumping these big ramps in the parking lot, and he's standing down by the shutdown area. And literally every time we land, he's got his hand over the fence and he's like, waving it back and forth, or he's giving us thumbs down or thumbs up, depending on what his vote was. So then I stopped right in front of him. I hopped off my bike and I held it out to him, and I was like, here you go, dude. And he goes, I don't have safety equipment. And I was like, we got plenty of safety equipment for you. We'll get you whatever you need. He didn't have, that was the end of it. 1 week after X Games, 1 week after Travis Pastrana did the double backflip, we're doing a show in a parking lot. I'm not even doing backflips at this point. We're doing a parking lot show at Chicagoland Speedway, and some kids are standing there screaming double backflip. It's like, Settle down. But I mean, here's the thing. I guess that's whatever, because you don't know those people. So, I mean, it's obviously annoying, but it is what it is. You don't know those people. But I mean, it's like, I think the worst of it is when it's people that that are constantly telling you or like come up to you and say weird stuff. Like, for instance, I got a call last night from somebody that I've known for a really long time, but we don't talk. We talk like every couple of months or something like that. Maybe not even couple of months. Let's say like year. Maybe every year. Maybe every not every year over the last 13 years. Like, let's say 13 years, we've probably spoken 6 times. That's might be generous. 6 times is probably generous in 13 years, let's say, since I moved away. Um, Calls me up, says, "Oh, you're a celebrity now." I'm talking about comedy, I guess, which the only way you know me is if you follow me on social media. Social media, like, it's not like anybody else is posting my shit but me. So that's a silly fucking statement. Oh, you're a celebrity. Yeah, if you clicked follow on my accounts and you actually follow me, then I'm famous to you. Which, I mean, okay, so he starts off with you're being a celebrity, this and that. Says something about me being busy. So I said that he's busy. And his response is, yeah, but I'm busy working. And I was like, well, being a celebrity is work. Like, I don't. Okay. So then he's busy working, so like mention that again, reiterated later on in the conversation that I said I was busy this weekend, and then he's once again referred to he was busy working, not what I'm doing, which is fine. Okay. Then he says that he heard that my Pulp MX set was good. Okay, and repeat that 3 times. He heard that it was good. He didn't listen to it. He wanted to make sure that I knew that he didn't listen to it himself, that somebody else said something to him. Which actually I'm more impressed by, that if he didn't listen to himself, somebody else gave a shit enough to even be like, "Yo, the set was good." You know what I mean? So I'm more impressed with myself because he didn't listen to it directly, and somebody happened to like say something. That makes me feel better about myself. So, um, 3 times just to make sure. So I don't, and then asks me, after the business stuff, like what else is going on. Like, I'm gonna divulge all this, some kind of personal information after, after all that shit talking to me about how I wasn't shit. I wasn't doing anything hard. That's what it was. I even had, this is probably like, I don't even know, 10 years out of high school, maybe. I don't know, mid-20s, probably mid-20s. I run into this guy that I went to school with at a party, and he decides to tell me that he rode a four-wheeler recently, like a couple weeks ago, a week or two ago, and he could tell that if he rode four-wheelers, he would be really good at it. Or if he rode bikes, when he was young, he would be really good at it. So I'm like, what does that mean? Like, you think that if you rode bikes, you would be better than me? And he goes, yeah. All right. Like, okay. So this kid played hockey in high school. So I was like, yo, I know I only played hockey for like a month or whatever in that clinic, but I could tell that if I continued to play hockey, dude, I would have been really good. And he goes, I've been much better than you. And he goes, no, that's different. That's different. And I'm like, it's not one. That's an ignorant fucking statement. I don't care what you're talking about. That's a It's one of the stupidest statements I've probably ever heard. I rode something for 20 minutes. I could tell that if I had done this, I would be better than you. Although you do this as a job, I would be better. I could tell. You're not that. What the fuck kind of logic is this? I had another guy in Georgia that was like friend of mutual friends. And he always used to try and start fights with me. And I'm like, the dude's way bigger than me. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't want to, like, it's good, dude. You're going to beat me up. He did, like, jujitsu and shit. I'm like, you're going to beat me up. Like, it's not even going to be fun for you. And you're way bigger than me, like, probably like 50 pounds of muscle. And he just continued wanting to talk shit to me. And then finally one day he was all fucked up and started talking shit to me and was like, said something about it. I was, something about my parents being rich, which is not true at all. And that I wouldn't, like, similar thing, like he would have done it if he had money. If he really wanted to ride, and if his mom had money and bought him a bike, he would have been better than me. And I'm like, how do you, okay, whatever. Maybe here, I'll even give you this. I'll give both of them this. Maybe they could have been better than me. Maybe they're more talented people than I am. It's very possible. I don't think I'm that talented. If you can find anything on the internet, or I have tons of footage online, videos, anything. If you can find anything of me ever saying that I was going to be the best at anything, please, I'll pay you $100. There's no footage of me ever going on about myself like I think I'm anything special. Ever. I don't feel like that. So very well they could totally be correct and be way more, talented than I am and gone further. Which makes it more pathetic that they didn't. Right? You're talking shit to me because I'm doing something that you would like to do, but you didn't do. So you want to be mad at me for doing it somehow. There's another one. Oh, there's another one that I wanted to talk about too. One of my good friends growing up's mom hated that I rode dirt bikes. She, there is a story behind it, and I'm not going to get into it, but even the story is like, there's a lot of things wrong in the story for you to be blaming the motorcycle and motorcycling. Like, okay, I'll tell you. The my friend's uncle stole a street bike. Issue number 1 in the story. This is how I remember it. I may be off, but stole a street bike. Didn't know how to ride it. Ran into something and died. And this equals we're mad at motorcycles. So in turn, we're mad at this kid who's riding motorcycles. So like, when I would show back up, I'd be gone for a long time. I'd show back up, I'd come to the house, and the first thing that she'd say is like, oh, you got a real job, or are you still playing around with those motorcycles? You know, and it's like, again, I thought the fact that you make your living doing something dictates whether whether you're playing or working. I didn't realize that if it's a fun job, it's not a job, right? You have to be miserable at work. That's the lesson that I've learned from all these people. In order for it to be work, it doesn't matter if you make money or not. In order for it to be work, you have to be miserable at it. I didn't realize that was a prerequisite of work. It has to suck. So, I mean, maybe we need to have a more clear definition of work then. Because I thought it was like the things had to do to make money, whether you enjoyed them or not. It's just, that's work. And she used to always say stuff like that, like just about put it down. And I've touched on it a little bit, but I mean, the realization that I've come to is that these people are mad that they didn't do something that they wanted to do. They didn't end up riding or whatever, acting or who the hell knows, singing in a band, yada yada yada. But that is not my fault. Okay, I'm not to blame because you didn't become a ballerina. That's not. I didn't steal your shoes. None of that happened. Uh, I agree. My parents helped me out and got me bikes in the beginning, and then after a certain period of time after I turned 18, I had to figure out how to get money and pay for stuff, and it was like selling my old bikes, putting that money to new bikes plus the money I made, blah blah blah. Like, no, we're not, nobody here is rich. So I would put it more so to the fact that I didn't give up. And of course, my whole goal was to ride a motorcycle for a living. Okay, so originally I thought racing, and that's what I wanted to do. So I didn't end up, I was broke when I raced. I raced pro for 2.5 years. I was broke, super broke. Okay, and then freestyle came along, and they're like, yo, $300 guaranteed a weekend. Not even every weekend, whenever they have them, but it was like I probably had like 6 events the first year that I did freestyle. $300 plus a hotel room is not shit. You can't live off of that. Not very well. So, like, really the point comes down to these people tried to get into this industry or an industry that isn't like you submit your resume and they sign you on for this amount of money. It's like you have to hustle and you have to be available for events and you have to be professional at events and you got to show up and blah, blah, blah. It's just a different type of job. And the fact that you couldn't hold out for the amount of lean time to get into yourself to practice or concentrate enough on it to get yourself to a point to make money on it is not my fault. Comedy right now is the same way. Spoiler alert, I don't fucking make money really doing comedy at this point. Very little. Very little. That's what it is. But, and here's another spoiler alert I don't say it because it sucks, but after being hurt and not riding anymore and not booking shows for years and trying to just go trying to pay all my medical bills off that I still owe like thousands of dollars on. I live at my parents' house. I moved back to New Jersey and I live at my parents' house. And I've heard people say some stuff or whatever, make comments, and that's fine. I'll eat shit right now because I'm going to take this opportunity to be in New Jersey, right next to New York, where it's a perfect place to get into comedy. I got dog hair in my mouth. And I'm going to suck it up right now and make shit doing comedy to get good enough and get known enough that I can get onto shows and I can start generating money. And people aren't willing to do that. And I agree. The thing is, when I did it when I was 21, who fucking cares? Now I'm doing it at 39 after I've already had a house and a career. That's a super rough blow, but still, I'm going to have dickheads call me up and tell me I'm a fucking celebrity and I'm not fucking working. This is a person that wasn't around when I had the infection, when I couldn't do anything, when I didn't do anything all day. I couldn't focus on any type of work. I had no motivation. I had to move myself on crutches out of a house because the people there, the environment wasn't good. People weren't dealing with me anymore. I'm in the back, fucked up. Nobody will barely talk to me. I go to another place. I have trouble there. So I'm just like feeling lost. I don't make money. I got rid of my house. Like, I'm basically just spending savings to try to keep up with everything. And this asshole calls me up and tells me that, oh, you're just running around like a celebrity. People have no idea. Like, I say this about everything, like pain, tattoo, whatever, injury. What's the worst injury ever? What's the most painful injury? What's the hardest situation ever to go through? And that's the one that you have dealt with directly. Always. That's how everybody sees everything. Because if I'm sitting here and you're sitting there and you're in pain, I can't feel it. Some people, I suppose, can. Some people have empathy. But for the most part, people do not have empathy. People have made their own lives. They've dictated what they do, and they're upset with it. And they want to talk down to the people that are actually doing it instead of being supportive, which is fine. So this is something that I learned, like, I learned this a pretty long time ago. So I mean, this is not new. It was just a fact that I got a call out of the blue and they start like poking, like, it's fucking ridiculous. Let's grow up here. But if anybody out there, you guys are striving to do your own thing and build your own thing, there always, always, always going to be people that you know and don't know or whatever that are going to tell you that it's stupid idea or you're dumb for doing it or it won't work or you don't have a real job or you know what I mean? They're no here's the thing. No matter what you do, you out of school, like by trade, I went to vocational school for plumbing. Okay, so by trade I would have been a plumber. Plumbing is a great job. They make good money. But I can guarantee you, somebody be talking shit about me handling shit. I'm sure somebody's out there, oh, he's a fucking plumber. You can't get away from it. So you might as well do something cool, for the people that appreciate it or whatever. Screw anybody. Do it for you because you want to do it and you enjoy doing it. And that's what I've always tried to do. And I've always tried to take the bull by the horns and build stuff up myself. And, the thing is, a lot of the stuff that I've done, I've to put it all together on my own for the most part. Like the Pulp MX thing, I got my foot in the door by helping them set up the whole event in New Jersey with a venue. I didn't fucking just message them that I wanted to perform. I helped set the thing up, and then at the last minute, I was like, yo, I would love to open for you guys. I would love to warm the crowd. So there was hustling that went into that. People can look at it and go, oh, you just did that. You just went and, but that's not how it happened. And I don't put this out either, but the whole one in Vegas, man, that was like, you can come out and do it if you fly yourself out. I didn't get paid for that. I spent money to do that because I saw it as a good opportunity. So if you want to hate on me for all this stuff, then that's on you, dude, because, it is what it is. You can be mad at me, fucking cry about it, and it's still not going to help you get any enjoyment out of life. And if anything, I feel bad for them, for people like that they would take their time out of their day when I show up to your house to ask if I'm fucking doing anything or if I'm playing around. You got a real job? Or you still playing around? Like, the fact that negativity goes through your head when you see somebody and you can't handle it. You can't handle it. You have to vomit the negativity out at them because you're so upset with your life. The fact that you would be at a party and you're going to walk up to somebody and be like, yo, you know that thing that you do as your career forever? Like, fucking, if I rode a four-wheeler for 10 minutes the other day, dude, and I could tell I would be way better than you if I did it. The fact that you felt the urge to come up and tell me that is a joke. The fact that you took time out of your day to call me and make sure that I knew that you didn't listen to the podcast yourself. Somebody told you that it was good. I feel bad. But I do feel better having talked about that. As much as I say it doesn't bother me, it is irritating because it's like, excellent. Good. I don't think you guys can hear the dogs barking. That's why this mic is so badass. Anyway, you can't, like, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't affect me, but it's like, at the same time, I'm puzzled. It's not going to affect anything I'm going to do. Let's put it that way. You people talking shit are not changing my mind about any goals or what I feel like I can achieve or anything like that, which is probably the biggest blow. I think that's why people like to talk shit to me. Like, seriously, I was thinking about this earlier too. Like, people assume I'm arrogant or something, and like, I'm confident in myself, that I'm confident that I can learn to do whatever, and that if I want to do something, I can figure it out. But I'm not a cocky person. And I think most people, like, if anything, I'm more introverted and awkward around people and groups. And so I don't talk to people. And people read that as me being, like, really arrogant. But in fact, it's the exact opposite. It's more so like, I don't, like, what do I talk to people I don't know about? I don't really know. I'm no good on text and all that stuff. I'm very bad with that. I don't get back to people a lot. I don't contact people. I've been trying to be more mindful of it recently and contact, like, all the boys that I used to ride with and stuff and say what's up and make sure that, if anybody now has, uh, let people know to an extent that I'm available if you got some shit going on or whatever, 'cause those are my dudes. But that's more of a recent development, I think. Probably after being screwed up like 3 times in a row from injuries. But sorry, playing with the mic stand. It's a habit from doing the comedy thing. Yeah, but anybody trying to do anything, just realize it comes at the price of people telling you it's not going to work and trying to dissuade you, and because ultimately they don't have the balls to go for what they really want, to do to make themselves happy. So don't listen to that shit. Give her the fucking berries and make it happen, man. Stop. Everybody needs to stop crying about being held back and find a way, dude. Find a way. You ever driven across this country? Have you ever driven across this country and realized that people drove across this country in wagons and you're crying about whatever? Like, such silly fucking premise. All right, people. I feel like 28 minutes is enough rambling. That was a pretty steady ramble. I was worried by myself, but all right, guys. Clint Files, number 10. I guess I'll do some ads. Brought to you by Stroker Industries, Motion Pro. I actually need to do more logos on this icon here if you're watching the video, now that I realize that. Motion Pro, motionpro.com. You got tools and like cables. They got sick ass cables for your bike and like the baddest tools for real. Canvas MX, you can go there if you use code FMXEast10, which, if you know me, my original freestyle motocross company was called FMX East. Chuck obviously knows me from then, so that's why my code is FMXEast10. You get 10% off. You can brand yourself. You don't have to wear anybody else's gear. And also, 2 Wheels to Freedom. Like, we're on the podcast feed here with this Clint Files because there's way more people I'm just making one big feed instead of having like just my personal feed and this feed, and then have both of them suck. At least this way, this will be more consistent. Um, yeah. So that's it, everybody. Look for some. Since it's my personal one too, Comedy Collusion. I did not build a website. You can go to clintesposito.com, which I have not updated in probably a month. You can go there, look at that one. That has all the Comedy Collusion dates. Actually, it doesn't right now because I need to update it. Sorry, but I'll do that because I do have some shows coming up and stuff. But Comedy Collusion is the name of my comedy shows, or like production, whatever. I don't know. That's what it's under. So yeah, if you like comedy, especially if you're in the Northeast, check it out. And working on trying to do some events with some motocross stuff. So we shall see. Check back, people. Thanks for listening to me go on, and remember, fuck those people tell you can't do it. They don't know anything. I would never tell you you can't do anything. You can do whatever you want if you're willing to sacrifice to do it. That's the caveat. I don't care how much talent you have. I don't care anything. Find something that you don't mind doing the work. It's not considered work. You're doing something you enjoy. Okay? Because we realized if you enjoy it, it's not work. That's what the lesson from today. If you enjoy it, it's not work. Okay? So you find something that's not work to you, even if it sounds crazy, to make money at. Because here's the thing. Even if, like, I wanted to go, I realized I said goodbye like fucking 4 minutes ago. I wanted to race for a living. Then when I started doing freestyle, I wanted to go to X Games. I wanted to do all that. And I didn't do all that. So in my mind, I feel like I failed to an extent. But I still made money at it, and I still was involved in the sport that I loved since I was little. So win-win. What am I going to do? Cry about riding motorcycles even though it wasn't racing, or I didn't go to X Games? Yeah, that is a bummer, but ultimately and I don't feel like I did. I feel like I said, I feel like I missed out. I didn't push. I started booking the business side of it, and I didn't go to those big events and stuff. But like I said, ultimately, there's a lot of people that did not ride dirt bikes for 16 years like I did for a living. So I'd never say again, I'm not the best. Never said I was going to be. Didn't think I was going to be. Whatever. But I'm not the worst either. So, whatever. I'll take it. I'm cool. As long as I'm having fun and can survive, it's all good, man. So everybody find something you enjoy. Learn how to survive off it. And when those other people come up and talk shit to you, just realize that's how depressed they are with their own lives. And then feel bad for it. Have some empathy. And be like, I don't know what to say. I have empathy, but I'm not good with words, so I just don't say anything. So maybe you're smoother and you can like console them or something. But yeah, everybody, don't cry to me. Suck it up. Stop being a pussy. Later, people.